examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Tumala and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and also the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will certainly help you to crack prelims 2021 and mains 2020, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrase, and by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, this will certainly make you get into the practice of identifying the factual, analytical and conceptual questions which will be certainly useful for you for the prelims 2021. And by imbibing the keywords and the key phrases which I would be discussing throughout my daily news analysis at AKS IAS Academy will certainly be helpful for you while you are imbibing them in your answer writing. So your answers would be certainly precise and concise once you inculcate the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing. Thereby, this session will certainly help you to crack or score higher marks for the mains 2020 and also for the prelims and mains 2021. So do follow my session completely and be benefited by AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. And this session is in regards to the DNA, that is daily news analysis, that is today's, and today's date is 10th of October or October 10, 2020. So it is little bit, what do you say, an important date to be at least to be looked at, that is 10/10 and 2020. So now we will focus on the DNA, that is daily news analysis. Prior to that, you have the quote of the day, and the quote of the day is one day or day one, you decide. So whether you wanted to start the day wherein you are fixing a one day or you fixing today, that is day one, so you decide. So before I get into the DNA at AKS IAS Academy of the Hindu newspaper, I would say a very good morning to everyone who is in the live and also in the live chat. A warm welcome to everyone, and a warm welcome to Rajesh, Ramya Rani, D. Suvarna. All of you, a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. And now we'll get into the DNA of today's newspaper, that is the Hindu, and it has the news which talks about the RBI. So definitely it is, the news is in regards to the economy or else in regards to the GDP. So definitely the GDP is been forecasted by the RBI. So RBI forecast the end of contraction. So definitely it is a good news what the RBI has come up or forecasting, that it would be an end of contraction. That means the negative trend or negative side of the economy or the GDP or the entire economic activity would be at a situation wherein we are heading towards an end, and then finally we would again bounce back. So that would happen, or else the end of contraction by quarter 4 of 2020 and 2021. So it is a good news that at least by the next year and by the first quarter of the 2021-2022, we will be getting into the mode of an accommodative policy wherein we will have an surge in regards to the GDP. So the RBI has resolved to revive. So it is resolved to revive what? Revive growth impulses. So what is very important is now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, because of the damage to the economic activity, as there is not much of business revival which has actually taken place from the month of March till almost till September. So there was not much of reviving. There was certainly that the government was trying, but in terms of the real factors, there was no growth. So now the RBI is very much determined and it wanted to resolve to revive the growth impulses in the economy and to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic worst impact, which by making sure that, so how it wanted to resolve, the question is here, how the RBI wanted to resolve to revive the growth impulses and mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic worst scenario is by extending its accommodative policy. So it wanted to extend the policy, that is the government welfare economic policy. So what kind of economic policies the government is going ahead, or else in regards to the Prime Minister's office or Prime Minister and then the Finance Minister together, they are, and along with the RBI, they are wanting to make sure that they wanted to go ahead with extending its accommodative policy. So here the keyword is accommodative policy. So the policy which is really important, that it would be in a situation that the growth would be getting into the positive trend from the first quarter of 2021-22. So definitely there is a positive trend which will certainly come into practice by the RBI forecast, and by this they have made sure that the RBI has kept the policy rates unchanged, that is repo rates unchanged to 4%. Why it has kept to a 4% itself? Why they haven't changed, or why they haven't gone ahead with some kind of increase or decrease in the repo rate and reverse repo rate? Because keeping in view the high inflation wherein now it is facing, the country is facing because of the high inflation. So because of the high inflation, the repo rates were kept unchanged to 4%. So this is the logic behind why the RBI has come up with keeping the policy rates unchanged at 4. And the other one is the RBI wanted to revive the growth impulses and to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic situations by extending its accommodative policy. This is the concept you need to understand. The main importance of the keywords and the key phrases here, what that the RBI is actually forecasting, so that it wanted to go ahead with reviving the growth of the country. And then the RBI governor, who is the RBI governor? Undoubtedly it is Shaktikanta Das. He said growth may break out of contraction. So this is a good news, that it says that definitely now it is in the mode of the contraction, it is squeezed. So there would be certainly the growth may, he says the growth may break out of contraction and it will slowly surge. It will gradually get into the mode of more of economic activities, more of business revival, so that the economy is surging, is increasing, and that would take place from the January-March 2021 quarter. And that he is terming that January to March 2021 as a silver lining, which the silver lining was visible from the month of September's economic indicators. So definitely from the March to August, we had a contraction of the economy, of the GDP. But if you look at the economic indicators, if we focus the economic indicators since September 2020, we can see that a little bit of positive signs is being shown by the various sectors, that there would be growth which would be surging. And before I get into the next slide, I would say a very good morning to Malvika Sajivan, and then also Pantangi has joined, Manjunath, Nag Mahendra, and then IS has joined, Azmat Khan has joined. So a warm welcome to everyone to AKS IAS Academy. So what is very important here is to resolve or to revive the growth by and to mitigate. Mitigate means what? To lessen, to reduce, to diminish the COVID-19 pandemic adverse effect. And the GDP, as per the RBI, it says that it is expected to decline to 9.5%. So here still it is in contraction mode, but it is in a better contraction mode as of now, and from January-March quarter of 2021 it would be in a positive trend, and the risk is still tilted to the downside, that is contraction, that is tilted downward is negative turn. And definitely what the RBI, that is Shaktikanta Das, the governor, is also making it very clear that he is expecting the consumer prices to remain elevated. That means the consumer prices, the prices of the consumer goods will certainly be high, will definitely be high. The prices will be high in regards to the consumer goods also, which we have experienced in the month of September. But he says that the prices of the consumer goods will ease gradually. That means gradually or slowly it will come down, it will reduce towards the 6% target in the quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2020-2021 of the financial year. So the first time we have seen that the RBI has shared the growth and inflation projection for this year, that is 2020 and 2021, and RBI is terming the coming months as a decisive phase, that is very crucial phase. RBI is talking about the next months, that is coming up, like now almost October, and then November, December are the months which are very crucial, decisive phase for the Indian economy, because we are facing or we are fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic situation or SARS-CoV-2 virus, and this will make sure that we fight with the virus, we overcome the virus, the SARS-CoV-2, at the same time revival of the economy also take place. So this goes in hand, it is simultaneously, parallelly, which are going on. So we have to fight the virus, we have to also make sure that we are reviving the economy, we are surging the economy. Economic activity should increase rather than from damaging situation. We need to get into the mode of increasing the economic activity and business revival so that the economy or the GDP flourishes. And when we look at the GDP in the quarter 1 of 2020-21, that is this year, when we look at from the March to June, July, we have seen it has shrank, or it was negative, contracted to 23.9%, and now it is declined to 9.5%. So even in the minus or downside trend, it is in a positive side. Please do understand, even in the downside trend of the GDP, it is now gradually growing in a positive side itself. So from 23.9% to 9.5%, and this will come to 6% in the quarter 3, quarter 4, and then further again it will be in a positive trend. So this is a new shift. We need to have a new shift to containment. So rather than containing it, now we have to get into the mode of reviving the economy, and that is very, very crucial. So here in this case, what this information is very important is in regards to the economy, wherein the RBI is talking about reviving the growth, and then it is wanting to lessen the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, so that the government, the RBI hasn't taken any change, or they have kept the policy rates unchanged because of the high inflation. Inflation is that the prices are more high, the goods are comparatively low. And then Vandana is also joined. A warm welcome to you, Vandana, to AKSIS Academy Daily News Analysis. And now we'll look at the another news which the Health Ministry is talking about, that the active COVID-19 cases have dropped below 9 lakh after a month. So definitely this is a positive trend, because we are, the entire Health Ministry at the center, and then the state, and then the administration, even the local and the district administrations are in a better position to handle the SARS-CoV-2 virus, as it was not in the month of March, April. So now definitely we are into the position that the active cases, and then the total cases, if you look at, and then the recovery rate, if you look at, it has increased, the recovery rate has increased. So definitely the active cases have dropped below 9 lakh. So the Union Health Minister has said that the active COVID-19 cases has fallen to 9 lakh mark after a month. So definitely there is lot of efforts put in by the various section of the people, that is in regards to the doctors, and then the district administration, the police department, everyone are coming, and even the citizens, corporate sectors, everyone are coming together to make sure that there is more of awareness in regards to breaking the chain of the COVID-19, or else in regards to breaking the chain of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, so that we are definitely winning over the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And presently the active cases are now 8,93,592, and wherein this comprises, that is the active cases in India is, the percentage is 12.94, that is almost close to 13% of the total cases in India. That means there is a steady falling percentage of the total cases. So active cases and the total cases, if you look at, there is a decrease in the falling of the total cases. Thereby, when the total cases are falling down or decreasing, the active cases also decrease, and once the active cases also are dipping, so that means here what is happening is the recovered cases are increasing. So the recovered cases are 59 lakhs 6,069. So it is almost to 6 million, almost 6 million, almost 6 million are the recovered cases. So this is a very great effort taken up by the frontline workers in India to overcome or to make sure that we are effectively trying to counter the COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 virus. And definitely this declining trend is talking about the active cases, is when the active cases are declining, that means we have the rising percentage of recovered cases. So we have the recovered cases rising, thereby we can see the active cases are falling. Only when the recovered cases are increasing, or we can say the active cases are decreasing, or the active cases are decreasing because of the recovered cases are increasing. So the recovered cases are 59 lakhs 6,069. So this is certainly a very good news, and we need to still follow the guidelines given by the health ministry in regards to the social vaccine, so that we can still increase the recovered cases by what we have now, close to 6 millions. And definitely if you look at the data released by the ministry, health ministry, that is, it says that 75% of the new recovered cases, please do understand, of the new recovered cases are reported from 10 states and union territories, that is Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal, Delhi and Madhya Pradesh. So certainly these 10 states and union territories are progressively doing better, that the 75% of what we are talking about, 59 lakhs or close to 6 million recovered cases, are major from that is 3/4 of it, that is 75% of it are from the 10 states and union territories. And if you look at the maximum recovered cases in regards to the single day recovery is from Maharashtra state. But at the same time, if you look at Maharashtra is also reporting the very high number of new cases, even in regards to the contributed cases, recovery, single day recovery is also high. New confirmed cases, that is in regards to the very high number in regards to confirmed cases, is also the Maharashtra which is topping, and then next followed by Karnataka. So Maharashtra is topping the list in regards to the high number of new cases. At the same time, the recovered cases, single day recovery cases percentage is also high in regards to the state Maharashtra. And then you have another news which talks about, amid pandemic gloom, we have 544 reasons for India to cheer. So what are the reasons? What are the reasons for India to cheer? We will look at the time of pandemic gloom. So definitely this news is in regards to the environment or ecology and environment, or you can also look biodiversity. So we have the Zoological India, National Zoological India, and then Botanical Garden India also have come up with various new species, that is animal species and then plant species they have identified for the first time in India, and they have recorded a list which actually goes up every year by both the departments. And now we will look at which are the new ones which have been added here. And Sweta Emani has also joined. A very warm welcome to you, Sweta, to AKSIS Academy Daily News Analysis. So now we'll focus in regards to which are the one which have been added to the list. So it is the rock dwelling gecko, that is Nemesis anandani. So this Nemesis anandani is endemic. What do you mean by endemic? It is active, but it is restricted to only a certain place. So Nemesis anandana is restricted to Western Ghats. So this is a rock dwelling gecko. So this one. And then you have the another one which is the frog, burrowing frog. This one. This is Sphaerotheca magada, which has been discovered in Jharkhand. And then you have the beetle. This is the beetle. Beetle is this one. So it is a dung beetle which has been found in Tawang. It is Noptrops tawangensis. It is Noptrops tawangensis, which is found in Tawang area of Tawang district of Arunachal Pradesh. You have another ginger variety which is again in regards to the plant species. So it is Ammonium nagamins. It is one of the ginger variety which has been found in the forest, which is Kohina Zoo in Nagaland. And then you have a fern. This one is a fern plant. It is Teres subirina, which is found in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. So why we are focusing at this? Certainly this is very, very important. Certainly this is very, very important because it could be asked in the prelims in 2021. So this is the one which can be asked in regards to the match the following, wherein they would be giving the animals or the animal species and the plant species and where they are found. So area, Western Ghats, Jharkhand, Tawang of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. So in that regards, you need to keep a track of it, or else you can add this point even as a short notes in regards to the mains examination for ecology and environment, or else trying to identify the new animal and plant species. And M. Khalil has joined. A warm welcome to you, Khalil. And then the Zoological Survey of India and then Botanical Survey of India, both of them have released an annual publication, and that annual publication is called as Animal Discoveries 2019, and you have the another one that is Plant Discoveries 2019. So you can add these points. So that is why I am focusing on this, the Animal Discoveries 2019 animal, and then you have the Plant Discoveries, and this all the one which have been identified will be released by the Union Minister of State for Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change at an event that is which will be taken up in Howrah, that is West Bengal, in the garden or botanical garden that is called as Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose Indian Botanical Garden in Howrah, West Bengal. So again, this is crucial keyword which could be part of your prelims 2021. And Animal Discoveries 2019, this published annual publication, it lists 368 faunal species which is identified as a new to the science, and 116 species spotted for the first time in India as per the Animal Discoveries 2019. And Plant Discoveries 2019 lists 180 new plant species and 73 species spotted for the first time in the country. So what is important here is the annual publication taken up by the Zoological Survey of India and Botanical Survey of India. They are Animal Discoveries 2019 and Plant Discoveries 2019. And according to the 2019 Botanical Survey of India, they have compiled the number of plant species found in India, and that is almost, it has 50,000, which is roughly 12% of the floral species. So why we are all talking about this is because you can, as I said, certainly it can be part of your short notes in the mains examination when there is a question in regards to the flora or else plant and animal species which have been recently found out and they are added to the science, new science. So both Zoological Survey of India and Botanical Survey of India, as we looked at, they have come up with releasing the publication Animal Discoveries 2019 and the Plant Discoveries 2019 since 2007. This is very important. Since 2007, both of them are coming up with the publication Animal Discoveries and Plant Discoveries, and this year, 2019 is the 13th publication. And this data, if you look at the last 10 years, it reveals that there are total 2,444 animal species and 3,500 plant species for countries. So definitely this would be an information which you think that it is a one which is not really important, or it is not good enough to keep it in mind, but definitely it will be very, very useful while you are making this information as your short notes in your answer writing. This is crucial in regards to the ecology or environment or biodiversity when we are talking about. And there is another news which talks about 3 contenders for National Butterfly. Again, this is in regards to the biodiversity, or again we can take it as from ecology and environment point of view. So here we are talking about the national butterfly tag. So there is a tag which will be given to the butterflies as a national butterfly. Please understand, a tag for the butterflies as the national butterfly. And Ram Kumar has joined. A warm welcome to you, Ram Kumar, to AKSIS Academy Daily News Analysis. And a citizen poll has been conducted, or it has been taken up to identify the butterfly which will be recognized or which will be tagged as a national butterfly. And they have concluded, they have come up with a national butterfly campaign consortium. That means National Butterfly Campaign Group has identified 3 species. Among 3 species, there would be a citizen poll which would be conducted to identify which butterfly would be having a tag of national butterfly. And the 3 species which have been concluded is Krishna peacock, Indian jezebel, and then orange oak leaf. So these are the one which have been identified, or which have been made sure that they are taken into consideration as a final 3 list. And these all are definitely the one which are maximum and which have been considered by the National Butterfly Campaign Consortium, collective of 50 butterfly experts and enthusiasts. They have 50 experts and enthusiasts who are in regards to the butterfly, and they have identified it. And if you look at the orange oak leaf, this has the ability to camouflage in the sense like to hide or disguise the prey. That means the birds, which they can identify the butterfly and then it can attack. But it is as a dead leaf, it hides or disguises the birds as if it is a dead leaf. This is the one. And it exhibits iridescence, that is lustrous or attractive quality, to stave off in the sense to avoid or hold off predators, and also aid farmers to get rid of pests. So these are all the qualities of the 3 species. That is why they have been concluded from the various butterflies in India, and then from these 3 a citizen poll will be conducted, and the citizens poll will be conducted to identify a butterfly which will be tagged as a national butterfly. So what we need to, you as a civil servant aspirant has to focus is, what are the 3 species, butterfly species: Krishna peacock, Indian jezebel, and orange oak leaf. And definitely now this butterfly, national butterfly tag, will join the ranks which are already existing in India. For example, the tag for Bengal tigers, the tag we have in regards to Indian peacock, Indian lotus, banyan tree, and then mango. So all these are the tags which have been given in India. So they also have a national symbol also. For now the butterfly will also get the national butterfly tag. So out of these 3, based on the citizen poll, it will be conducted. And if you look at this Indian jezebel, so this is the one, Indian jezebel. So this is known to deter its predators with the flashy wing colors. So you have a flashy wing colors, and they are widely distributed. We see it, this is a common one. We can see it everywhere in the gardens or light wooded areas. So this one which is commonly seen is the Indian jezebel, and the Krishna peacock. This is the Krishna peacock, and this is a flagship species. Which among the following is a flagship species for biodiversity and conservation? It is Krishna peacock. Krishna peacock is the flagship species for biodiversity and conservation, and generally it is found in Himalayas. So these are all, why I am taking it, is the key information or the critical or the crucial information for the prelims 2021, or you can also use it when there is a question in regards to the national tag or national symbol in regards to the butterflies. And the third one is orange oak leaf. This one, orange oak leaf, and this is commonly known as dead leaf because it behaves as if it is a part of the dead leaf. that is it hides or or disguises the dry autumn leaf while striking stationary pose. So it will be as a stationary pose, as a dead leaf, and it will be with its wings closed. So this one, wings closed, so definitely it will be seen as this one, like a dead leaf. So this one, these wings will be closed. Once it is closed, definitely it will be seen as a dead leaf. And this is present where Western Ghats, central, northern and eastern parts of India. It is generally found. So Indian Jezebel, Krishna peacock, and then orange oak leaf. And Kausalya Boya has joined. David Kumar I have also joined. A warm welcome to both of you to AKSIS Academy Daily News Analysis. And then there is another news which talks about DRDO test anti-radiation missile. So the keyword here is anti-radiation missile. Keyword is anti-radiation missile. So this is a new generation anti-radiation missile, and what is the name of the anti-radiation missile? It is Rudra MI or Rudra MI, and this was successfully tested by the DRDO, and this is the first indigenous anti-radiation missile. This is the keyword again. This is the first indigenous, that is within, we have India has developed it, that is the anti-radiation missile. And what does or how does it really help India or help India's national security to fight against any enemy or protecting the country? So this anti-radiation missile, what can it do? It can locate and target the radiation emitting sources. Please do understand here, this is very important. It can locate and target what? Radiation emitting sources. So the objects which are emitting radiation, the anti-radiation missile will locate and target those emitting, those sources or the objects which emits radiation. Please do understand, the objects or the sources which emits radiation, those objects which emits radiations are located or targeted, or they identify it, and then they go ahead with shooting it. So definitely these the radiation emitting sources are enemy radars. That means the radars emit the radiation. Please do understand here the concept. The radars emit the radiation. So once the radars emit the radiation, so it is located and targeted by the anti-radiation missile, and it goes and hits the radar of the enemy. And then even the communication sites also emits the radiation. So once the radiation is emitted by the communication sites, that is been identified, located and then targeted by the anti-radiation missile, so that the communication site is totally destroyed. The radars are totally destroys enemies and any other radio frequency emitting target. So this is also for communication, radio frequency. So the frequency which is emitting, that is the radiations which are emitting from the frequency, radio frequency emitting. So that will be identified, located and targeted by the anti-radiation missile. So this is the new generation anti-radiation missile. So definitely this is a very important, because it locates, identifies and targets the radiation emitting sources such as enemy radars, communication sites, and then all other radio frequency emitting targets. This is very crucial, and this is very important for the national security, because this is the first of its kind in regards to the new generation anti-radiation missile, and this will certainly play a key role. Why? In neutralizing any jamming platform of the enemy. So if there are any radars which are actually trying to jam or neutralize the India's or else the country's missiles to target it, so definitely it will neutralize any jamming platform and of the enemy or take out radar station, definitely, thereby clearing a path for the fighter jets. So definitely once the jammers are being placed, that jammers will be neutralized by the anti-radiation missile by targeting identifying, locating and targeting the radiation emitting sources, that is enemy radars, communication sites or radio frequency. Once we target them, what is happening is we are neutralizing, we are destroying, we are also clearing the jamming platforms, and then the path is very clear for what? To hit the target by the fighter jets. So here the anti-radiation missile is first used, and then next the fighter jets to carry out offensive to prevent own systems from being jammed. So definitely radiation missile, it targets, it destroys and then hits the enemy. And Rudra or Rudra MI was successfully tested from Wheeler Island of coast of Odisha, from coast of Odisha. And then Sanapala Swapna is also joined. A warm welcome to you to AKSIS Academy Swapna. And then this anti-radiation missile was launched from Su-30 MKI fighter aircraft. So the fighter aircraft which was used to launch the anti-radiation missile is the Su or Sukhoi 30 MKI, and it has a range of 200 kilometers depending upon the launch condition. And this missile can be launched from an altitude height of 500 meters to 15 kilometers at a speed of 0.6 to 2 Mach. That is the speed of the sound. And this missile also has the INS, that is inertial navigation system. It has global position system, and it also has the passive homing head for the final attack, and it is potent weapon for, it is very useful weapon for Indian Air Force, because we can strategically suppress the enemy air defense effectively from a large standoff ranges. So this can be very much useful at the time of India-China face-off or the standoff along the LAC in the eastern Ladakh, and also elsewhere if that is really required, or as of now this is very required in regards to the kind of situation what India is facing along the LAC. So what is important here is the missile, anti-radiation missile, has the inertial navigation system. So these keywords can be again used in your mains answer as a short notes while you are going ahead with the answer writing. In regards to the answer writing, you can use these keywords, that is the missile has the inertial navigation system, global position system, GPS, and passive homing head. So this is very important for the defense, or else in regards to the internal security, that is GS paper 3. So the crucial information and then the keywords, that is the anti-radiation missile, because it locates and targets the the radiation emitting sources, and then it has a key role in neutralizing any jamming platform, and then thereby the fighter jets will have a path which will be cleared and it will carry out the offensive strike. So definitely now we will focus at recapitulating of the DNA which we have done for the entire DNA today. So this we were talking about the economy. So definitely economy, or else again in regards to the GDP, when we are talking that the GDP will have a further, the contraction will end by Q4, and there would be a positive in the first quarter of 2021 and 22. In the first Q1 there would be a positiveness, and then this is active in regards to, this is in regards to the total cases we have looked at, and then active cases and then recovered cases, and then this is in regards to the biodiversity which we have focused, that we were talking about the Zoological Survey of India and then Botanical Survey of India, which they come up with the two, that is in regards to the animal species and then the plant species. They come up with the publications every year, and here we also talked about the national butterfly tag. So we have looked at the 3 species which are again very important, that where they are actually located, So that could be a probable question for the prelims in regards to the animal species and plant species, and then the butterfly, which will be tagged as the national butterfly after the, definitely after the, and DRDO test anti-radiation missile. So here we have looked at anti-radiation missile, which will actually neutralize the emitting, these are in regards to the radiation emitting sources. It will neutralize it, and then the fighter jets will come into action aggressively in offensive mode. So this is again in regards to the internal security of the GS paper 3. And then Sanapalla Swapna has asked how to write short notes. So please tell. Okay, in regards to the short notes, what you do is, first whatever I was talking about, for example here I was talking about the inertial, this is a keyword, inertial navigation system, and then global positioning system, and also the passive homing head. So these keywords itself, you make it a short notes and then prepare or let it be part of the answer writing. Into the mode of, at the initial stage itself, do not get into the mode of answer writing. Do not get into the mode of answer writing, that is in regards to the mains point of view. Initial stages I'm saying, like do not get into the mode of like getting into the mode of almost 200 to 300 words. Do not. First start up with the short notes. This is very important, wherein short notes, what you will get into the mode is that you will know what are the keywords and the key phrases which are very essential and required, which will certainly be part of the mains answer writing. But first you start up with the short notes by identifying the keywords and the key phrases, which I am discussing in the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. So then later on gradually you can be getting into the mode of writing an answer itself. But even while you are writing an answer, what is very crucial is you imbibe and inculcate the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, which again the short notes all together compiled will become an answer. Wherein your answer, again when you are talking about, it should be having a basic background of it, and then introduction, and then various challenges, and then measures, and then way forward, or the conclusion. So these are the various steps which you need to follow in the final answer writing. But prior to that, get into the mode of short notes, making short notes. I hope Sanapala you have understood. You have got the point. Fine. So definitely I feel this session was very, very important, and then informative and knowledgeable one for mains 2020 as well as prelims 2021. So I would say a big thank you and a good luck to you all, and then go ahead with liking the video, share the video and subscribe the video, and then do visit the AKS IAS Academy website, and also subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And then I would see you again for the daily news analysis at 7:30 a.m. on Monday. And what I would again reiterate here is, do maintain consistency in regards to your preparation, do stick to your schedule of your preparation, and then please do take care of your physical health and mental health. This is very, very crucial and important for you to gain or attain the short term and then long term goals, and then have success. So Madhavi have joined, very good morning to Madhavi. Sweta has joined, very good morning to you Sweta. And then a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy. And then I would say that definitely you can be part of the daily news analysis of the AKS IAS Academy on Monday 7:30 a.m. So I will be back on Monday 7:30 a.m. So please do be part of the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis and be benefited in regards to the prelims as well as mains examination point of view. So I would say a very big thank you to all. Thank you all, and then take care. See you on Monday 7:30 a.m.